Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hungry for Healthy. I'm Christine McNamara, Registered Dietitian for Health Promotion Services. And today is a special Hungry for Healthy because we're celebrating National Nutrition Month and we're also celebrating Registered Dietitian Day. So in honor of that, I invited a couple of my fellow RDs to help in the fun of sharing some great and healthy recipes with you. We have Miriam and also Erin. So would you like to introduce yourselves, Miriam and Erin?
Sure. I'm the wellness dietitian with HDH, Housing, Dining, and Hospitality, Miriam Jirari.
And I'm Erin Kukura, dietitian with UCSD Recreation.
Perfect. And then we also have the fabulous Zara Rubio, which is the zone program manager behind the scenes, helping us with chat. You'll also be able to get a copy of the recipe here today and any questions you may have. So thank you, team. I'm really excited. There's Zara. I am really excited just to have this collaboration with our other fellow RDs. And so Hungry for Healthy is typically a time when we create these simple and quick vegetarian recipes. And so today you're going to have 3 recipes prepared by 3 of us with 3 or more ingredients. So we know it's week 10, we know that it's the end of the quarter and you need something quick and easy to help with your studies to give you that brain fuel. So first, I will be doing a take on the TikTok wrap. It's going to be a breakfast wrap. And then Miriam's going to be creating a tofu stir fry for you. And then we're going to finish off with Erin creating a Mediterranean chickpea salad. So really fun, really great recipes to get you energized and get you jazzed for your studies, or just even if you have a stressful week. These are just great recipes to have. So again, let's get started with that. So I'm going to start this off, and you're going to get these fabulous, hopefully you can see that, copy of these recipes. And Zara can always attach those in the chat, so you can refer to those during or after, however you like. And so let's start with the TikTok breakfast wrap. So that has been trending lately, and I just wanted to do a fun spin on that. And so the ingredients that we need are tortillas. I bought here, and you can get whatever kind of tortilla, if you like gluten-free, wheat. This one happens to be no GMO, no artificial colors. It has spinach, kale, and chard in it. So this is my tortilla that I'm going to start with. We're going to have calcium source, so I have here cheese, and again, it could be vegan cheese if that's what you prefer. Chopped, we're going to have some bell peppers, and that's the vegetable in this. And then the protein for this is going to be an egg. And so I thought I would demonstrate how to prepare an egg in a microwave. So that's another quick way to kind of take out, using a pan, you could just use one dish. So here I have my glass dish, and hopefully you can see this okay. And all you need to do is just crack the egg in the dish. I also like to add a little liquid to this. So this is a calcium fortified milk. I'm going to add a little bit of that. If you have a whisk, use a whisk, or I have a fork here. And if you wanted to add salt and pepper, sometimes I do that as well, any seasonings you want. You just mix that all around. And it just has to go in the microwave for a minute. I mean, it can't be any easier than that. But sometimes I actually do this in the morning before work when I just need a little quick something on the go. And let's see, 1 minute here. We're gonna just put that in there in a minute. And sometimes I just add, let's say you have some extra greens like spinach, you have some vegetables, you put the seasoning in there, you put some veggies in there. If you want to sprinkle it with some cheese on top, great. And there's your on-the-go breakfast. Some scrambled eggs in a dish. So and I also love the fact that you can also cook potatoes in the microwave. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but to do that, you need to use a fork or a knife, and you pierce the potato, wash it, pierce the potato, and then you can also put that in the microwave, typically, depending on the size of the potato, for about 4 or 5 minutes. So that's another quick way just to save you some time if you maybe wanted to make yourself a loaded potato add some fixings to that. So, all right, so that is just about done. And I can hear it. That sounds done to me. And as you can see, it, hopefully you can see, it just fluffed up. I mean, isn't that amazing? There's a cooked egg in about a minute. So that's gonna be our protein source. Okay, so to make this wrap, start with your tortilla. And then you're just gonna make a slice down the center of the tortilla, down to the bottom. So there's your slice. And then to get started, you can see here I have avocado. So you either can have avocado slices, or if you want to spread, if you happen to go to the store, I know Costco sells these. This is avocado, this is guacamole rather. So really quick and easy. You also can find them in the market. Today I'm just going to slice an avocado and use the slices with that. So you just have to slice it down the middle. Actually, it's just easier, I think, to do it this way. Okay, you're going to cut the avocado in half, twist it open, and then here's the seed in the middle. Use your knife to take that out. And then what I like to do is just make slices down that avocado. And that's going to be your first quarter. So you have your tortilla, which is divided into 4 quarters. The first is going to be your spread, or the avocado. So since I made the slices, all I'm going to do is kind of squeeze it out of the avocado. Okay, so I don't even have to get my hands dirty on that. But that is your fat source. Okay, avocado, great monounsaturated fat for you. There you go. So that goes in the first part of it. Next, we are going to do, let's do the vegetable. Okay, so here I have bell pepper, a great source of vitamin C. If you don't have bell pepper, any other vegetable that you have definitely works. So you're going to put the bell pepper in that second quarter there. And I can't get away from spinach, so I do 3 or more ingredients. So here's another ingredient. There's some spinach. I'm going to put some spinach in there as well. And then over here, we're going to have our protein source. So this is going to be the egg. We're just going to spoon that in. And I did create a whole egg, but usually about a half, it seems, probably will work in here. All right, so there's your protein source. If you don't have egg, maybe you have tofu, you can use that as well. And then we're going to finish this up with some cheese. So this is just some cheese I had on hand. We're going to put that in that last quarter. So can you see that okay, or should I lift it up a little bit? Just put that down. So that's kind of, hopefully you can see, that's what it looks, oops. I don't want to spill it on the table, but there it is. So we have our 4 areas there. All right, so here you want to be, I'm going to turn this on, probably like a medium heat, and then you can either spray your pan. Well, I don't have nonstick cooking spray. I have a little olive oil right here. So you could put a little bit of that in the pan, or just on the actual tortilla. So the fun part now is, this is heating up. We're just going to start to fold this. This is a fun part of this now. So you start with where the avocado spread is, the left side, fold it in half, fold it in half again, and then fold it in half again. So now, it's like that. I'm going to spread it a little bit with a little olive oil on both sides, so it gets a little bit brown, just a little bit, just for taste. Now that's heated up. I'm going to put that in the pan. I'm going to flip it, and then I'm going to put it on the other side. A little olive oil. And that's going to cook probably about 2 minutes per side. And then if, I didn't mention, but if anybody has any questions, definitely you can ask throughout our time here. So any questions so far? Anybody have any comments about, has anybody tried to make one of these before? I know it's been trending that I've seen as well, but you could really do anything, any kind of version of this, or whatever ingredients you have on hand. So for example, this could be, you know, like a vegan BLT, right? Let's say you have some leftovers. It could be even like pizza, tomato, right? Cheese, just different ingredients. Has anyone tried this before? Making one?
I like that multiple fold technique.
Fun?
And then I like the brushing of oil. I think those are really nice ideas. There were some questions in the chat and I did answer, so I don't know if Erin or Christine, you want to add on to anything I said. But yeah, they were really smart questions.
What were the questions you wanted to say?
Yeah, the first one was just about basically is dairy-free vegan. When you see dairy-free, does it mean vegan? And the answer is yes. Vegan won't have any animal or, you know, byproducts of animal. But then dairy-free doesn't equal vegan all the time. So that was one. And then the other one was just about a comment of avocados, sometimes picking them, there's just brown on the inside. So I had said, you know, just check the outside for, you want it firm, but to give a little, not too squishy. And sometimes it's like, because it's been kind of banged around a little.
And I could just say, when I was picking out these avocados and I knew that I needed them in a couple of days. So my son, who is 8, he actually helped me pick out the avocados. So it's always a good teaching lesson, right? That not too hard, not too soft, but kind of in the middle. So you want it to give a little bit. And it's always a surprise when you buy avocados. This one had a little bit of brown, but you know, not too much. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that too well. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of the trick, that you're trying to pick these avocados that you're not going to get too much of that brown in there. So it really is, you kind of like, for 5 minutes, you're pressing your thumb into the avocados to see if it's too hard, too soft, or just right. Kind of like the 3 Little Bears, right? So that's what you're doing with avocados. Good, those are great questions, thank you.
Yeah, and then just about cooking egg in the microwave, why doesn't it explode? Like an expectation of that. And I just said, you know, when you cook it too long, it can.
Right. So that's why I said a minute, but I also use the sound test. So I heard it go, okay, it's time. And there was 2 seconds left. And so that's why I put a little liquid in there. That's why it's not going to explode. Because if you cook that for 5 minutes, yes, but definitely a minute or less. And it depends on the size of your dish. It also depends on the wattage of your microwave with that. But that's really helpful. And this one looks like it's done. And I just want to show you. What can I show you? I'm going to bring it over here. That it's brown on the top. I think maybe you could, I'm going to go over here. Sorry.
There's also a question, will the avocado brown when cooking?
It did not, no, because what we're really doing, it's not on the dish. It's keeping warm in the tortilla. Oh, thank you, Zara. Thank you so much. Here, there we go. It did not, because the tortilla is keeping it, and I'm gonna go over here so you can actually see. So there you are. There's a finished product where you can see it's beautifully browned and the cheese is melted. Those are what you're waiting to see. And the avocado, as you can see over here, is not brown. But it all stayed together. You're just trying to warm it up. And I wish you all were here so you could taste this, but I'm going to taste it because it smells delicious. And
it looks lovely.
Thank you.
I was going to say avocados oxidize so quickly when you just have them out after you cut them. So yeah, if they're left out when there's air exposure, they get brown, but yep. Whatever.
You can also use them like an acid, like vitamin C, lemon in there, with guacamole. That helps it to prevent it from browning. But yes, excellent point.
You can always scrape it off too. It's like if you're using it like the next day and there's some brown on it, you can just scrape that off. And then it's all green underneath. So you don't have to get rid of the whole like half avocado that you have left over.
Exactly.
They're so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to waste the avocado. So that is our first recipe. So if you're joining us, what we're doing today in celebration of National Nutrition Month, we have 3 wonderful RDs here at UCSD. We have Erin, we have Miriam and myself, that we are each doing 3 recipes using 3 ingredients or more from the 3 fabulous RDs. So that was our first one. I just, and you also get a recipe, a copy of the recipe. This one was a TikTok breakfast wrap. I just kind of took a little spin on that wrap that's trending. And so definitely feel free to ask questions along the way. And next up, we're going to have Miriam. She's going to be doing a tofu stir fry for us.
Hello, hello. Mine will not be as visible as Christine's because I'm in my kitchen, so I'll be going back and forth. But so mine it's 3 ingredients, and these ingredients are at the markets on campus. I'll show you the ingredients. They should be actually in all of the locations, and just let the manager know if you can't find them because they have been prepped to have them all. So okay, first is the, it's just a organic frozen vegetable blend. It has broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. If you can spring for it, I know it's super hard, especially being a student, being on a budget. I choose organic whenever I can. I rather have less pesticides or herbicides in my food, especially if I eat it often, like daily. All right, and then the next ingredient will be, this is a vegan dressing. It's Annie's. I always look at ingredients on the back. Most dressings disappoint. So this one I would kind of rate, it's like a B, because, all right, so it starts with canola oil, expeller pressed canola oil, that's great. Water, apple cider vinegar, so far really great. Tahini, soy sauce, awesome, lemon juice, sea salt, dried garlic, dried chives and parsley, xanthan gum, and organic sesame. So this is one of the, I hate using this word, but I would say the more wholesome or clean, where it's not super processed. They always have to add some kind of gum though for the binding. And this recipe is vegan. Okay. Next ingredient, tofu. This actually isn't my favorite. I'm a tofu connoisseur. This is what we have in the markets. I always pick the very firmest I can find. It's a texture issue with me, even if I cook it. I don't like the squishiness, and I have to drain it more the less firm it is. This one says firm. There's a soft, a firm, and an extra firm. This one's just firm. And then you always look at ingredients just to see what the heck you're eating. So these ones, I had cut the label, so this one just really says, I don't know, I can't even read it anymore. But I remember it was just like water and soybeans and then maybe some ascorbic acid for preservation, which is vitamin C, it's natural. Okay, so what I did, I cut my tofu however much you want. I'm not a big measurer. It makes me, I don't know, it repels me. I don't like it. So I just, however, I listen to my body. If I'm wanting more protein, I'll cut a bigger slice off. Depends if you're making it for multiple people, but I put my tofu slice in a paper towel and I let it just sit there for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. You can even do this with the whole block and then put it in some Tupperware and save it just for time saving. So that's the tofu. So, and then I'm gonna put my frozen vegetables in just a pan. I'm not gonna actually, I don't need an oil. I have a nonstick, but if you wanted, you could. So I'm just gonna throw however much, honestly with vegetables, I mean, go nuts. Like definitely don't measure. If you like more, then put more in, but just know when you cook vegetables, it doesn't keep that great for the next day. So as the days progress, it's going to get oxidized and be mushier and not taste as great. So if you can cook what you need for that day.
Miriam, there's a question in here too. If you ever put something heavy on the tofu to press it down.
Yep, you squeeze for sure. You can, this one's a little more delicate because it's a firm one, not super firm. So I didn't want to make it crumbly, but absolutely you can facilitate some of the draining by pushing it down. Great question. My favorite tofu brand is San Diego Tofu House. They have an herbed one that's just, oh, delish. There's also Wildwoods tofu, it's organic. They make a teriyaki, they make a Moroccan flavored. So that's my second choice. I might even have it. So as the vegetables are on the pan, I just put to a medium heat. I'm gonna stick the dressing in there. Again, I don't measure. So I just kind of drizzled on however much, if you want it more saucy, that's your preference. So I'm just going to kind of see how the cooking goes, and I ad lib based on how it's looking. If it's looking drier, if it's starting to burn a little, I'll add a little more. So you can even cover it to keep the heat in. You know, you don't want to cook vegetables too long, because you are kind of losing some of the nutrients the longer you cook it for. All right, so that's covered. I'm going to turn down the heat just right at medium to low to medium. And then I'm going to cut the tofu. So this is also a preference thing. Like if you like big old, oop, I dropped that all on my floor. That's hilarious. It's cool. I actually eat off my floor too. It's fine.
It must be so clean.
Yes. So I like much smaller cubes of tofu. So I'll show you once I'm done, because otherwise it's gonna fall on the ground again. I stack it and then chop. So like I'm gonna stack it. It just saves time.
Miriam, where did you find that tofu that the two?
So this was in Rogers. This was in Rogers Market. All the ingredients here today are Rogers Market. So if you like your tofu more browned and firm and cooked internally, then you cut the pieces even smaller. That just makes sense, like surface area wise. You want to cook it more through, less mushy. It's definitely your choice. So tofu, I'm sure you all know, but is an excellent source of protein. It's kind of cool. It has the 3 macronutrients to it. There's some carb, there's protein, and there's healthy fat in there. And there's quite a bit of calcium as well in tofu. Dun, 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 dun. So, and there's good amount of fiber. So now I'm going to put it into the pan. Veggies are looking a little more cooked through. See that steam? I'm going to give it a little shaky.
Another question, because I can't read the questions in the chat.
So I'm going to take the lid off now, pick up the tofu from the floor. y'all. And then I'm gonna let it simmer a little bit, and I'm gonna keep flipping it so the pieces get browned all throughout. What question?
Oh, I'll go and look.
So there's a question about, do you ever marinate the tofu overnight?
Yes, you can absolutely do that, and you can have so much fun with different marinades and spices and herbs, or your favorite dressing. And it's a much, I hate the word cheap, but it's a more cost-effective way, because marinated tofu will be a little bit pricier than just plain. And then you have control over it. So then it won't have as many preservatives or binders or like whatever they're gonna add to keep it the shelf life longer or whatever. I personally, I like definitely more simple flavors with my tofu. So I do choose like the plain or the herbed one I mentioned, or even the Wildwoods teriyaki. Yeah, if you want to cut time, but I think it's a really cool idea. And then of course it's going to soak in. It's very porous and spongy, so it's going to pull in all that it's marinating in the longer you have it in there. All right, I'm going to keep flipping the ingredients over. And I'm going to turn up the heat. So it's looking kind of beautiful. You can add, this is a 3-ingredient recipe, but you can add your herbs and spices as you see fit. I suggest trying not to add salt. There's already salt in here. There's a little bit of salt in the tofu. There's not in the vegetables. But try to flavor first outside of salt. So it looks good. The thing about when you're stir frying or when you're cooking, pan frying vegetables, they will start to lose, especially the green. It starts to, the chlorophyll color, the green color starts to leave, and it starts to morph into like an olive green, which is not as beautiful, but it happens. There's different tricks. I'm sure Christine and Erin could tell you. I've seen like you put the cooked broccoli in like icy bath water or something. But I don't mind, like I'll just eat it no matter what color.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So now if you wanted, also this is just, this is a protein rich dish with some vegetables. It's a little light on the carbs. So if you wanted to throw it over some brown rice or couscous, quinoa, bulgur, kama, whatever grain that you wanted, some even pasta, you can do that. Great. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to pour it in my dish. So in the interest of time, I usually like my tofu browner. I like it more cooked through. And I also choose usually super firm, but this is kind of the look of it. And with the dressing, it's pretty delicious. I'm gonna taste it and not burn myself. The broccoli, really, really good. And then the tofu, it's got a really light flavor because the dressing doesn't stick too much in it, but it's within it. So it's tasty and it's really nutrient dense. So that is it for me. I don't know if you have any questions at all, or comments or shares. See, Martha, I've never tried adding salad dressing to stir fry veggies. Interesting, I will try it. Cool. Yeah, it's kind of a shortcut. You know what I mean? I like shortcuts. Meal assembly. You just have to, you know, choose the ingredients carefully when you're choosing more convenience food items, like a dressing that's done, for instance. You can absolutely make your own, but of course that's time. So.
Yay. Well, that looked delicious, Miriam. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Out of your kitchen. I loved it.
Hope you can see it all. I want yours, Christine.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make that tonight.
Very tasty as
Yeah.
well. So I'm definitely going to make Miriam's recipe, and we also invite you all definitely to try all these recipes. And if you don't have any of the ingredients that we suggest, definitely substitute a different vegetable, substitute a different protein, different carbohydrate. Okay. All right. And Erin, are you ready to go?
Great. Well, hi everyone, I'm Erin, and I'm gonna make a Mediterranean grain bowl today. So I'm a big fan of like grain bowls. They're quick, easy, and you can do your own variations on them, like we've all talked about. So this one's one of my favorites. And we are going to use, the 3 ingredients are gonna be couscous, garbanzo beans or chickpeas, and then I love Trader Joe's. They have all these great pre-made salad kits. So they actually have a Mediterranean style salad kit. So these are so great to use as like the base. They also have a Southwest salad, and then you can just add more fun things to kind of make it a meal and like a satisfying meal, which is important when we're eating. So to start, we're gonna make the couscous. And I typically do make it similar to like any other grain. So you're just gonna heat up some water, and it usually uses about a 1-to-1 ratio of water to the couscous. So normally the recipes say 1 cup of water to 1 cup of couscous, but if you're cooking for one, or you just wanna have only a couple servings and not like a whole week's worth of couscous, you can cut it in half. So that's what I'm doing today. You can also, the recipe usually calls for like butter and salt, but I usually just do just water, and then kind of we'll get the flavoring with other options, other ingredients. All right, so the cool thing is, because there's only half a cup of water in here, it's already boiling. So it boils very quickly. And then you'll just take your couscous and add it into that water. Turn the heat off. Then you're just gonna wanna mix it around, just so it kind of can actually, all of the couscous will be in the water so it can soak it up. And then you're just going to cover that, and you're going to leave it for 5 minutes. So it's very quick and easy, which we all appreciate. So while that's cooking, something about couscous is a great grain, and there's different types that are out there, but you can purchase the whole grain couscous. So that one's going to be made with whole wheat, so it's going to offer a little more fiber than the other couscous options out there. So fiber is great for our gut health, great for keeping things moving, satiety. So always adding that fiber wherever we can is going to be super beneficial. So while that's cooking, we can assemble the rest of the meal. So this grain kit has just like different lettuces and broccoli and celery. Again, all veggies, whatever they are, doesn't matter, but getting in those fruits and veggies is going to be helpful again for our gut microbiome. So I just like to add some on the plate. Also, I think the important thing about fruits and vegetables, we always hear them, how important they are to get, but it's not just the fiber, it's also these are full of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants that are really necessary for things like immune function, immune support, for preventing inflammation and chronic diseases. So this is why we always hear we should eat fruits and vegetables. There really is such a health benefit to getting them. And the recommendation is 5 servings a day. So wherever you can fit it into that meal, snack is a great way just to get it in throughout the day. So I have my salad mix. Then we're gonna add in the garbanzo beans, or chickpeas, I like to call them. Garbanzo beans are great. I also, if I have time, sometimes will roast them. So I'll take the garbanzo beans, pat them dry with a paper towel, add a little olive oil, salt, pepper, cumin, garlic, and then you can roast them for like 15 minutes. So they'll be giving a little more hard, crunchy texture. So for today, just for ease of time, we just have the canned. Always rinse out your canned foods, especially beans, before you use them. And then I'm just gonna add those on. Again, chickpeas are gonna be the protein for this meal. So they're gonna have that plant-based protein, which also means they're gonna be high in fiber. So you'll find this with beans, lentils, legumes, tofu, all of those awesome plant-based proteins that are gonna give you fiber, vitamins, and minerals, in addition to some of that protein, which is really beneficial as well. The other thing, because we can do more than 3 ingredients, I'm gonna add some tomatoes just to give another little added boost as another veggie. And tomatoes are also really high in vitamin C. So vitamin C is really helpful for proper like healing, for tissue. Also, it's a really, there's some antioxidants in this as well, again, preventing that inflammation. And vitamin C is actually really helpful for absorbing iron. So if you're anemic or you're more vegetarian, vegan, and have a hard time getting enough iron, making sure you're having a vitamin C food at that meal really helps to absorb enough iron. Also, it just looks pretty when there's colors and different things in there, so I like to make it a little fun. And then because this is a salad kit, you also have some cool toppings. So it comes with some little pita crisps and some little chickpeas in here, so you can always add that. There's also some sun-dried tomatoes, but I did some fresh tomatoes instead. And there's also some feta cheese, which goes great with any Mediterranean style dish. And then there is a dressing in here too. So that's a red wine vinaigrette. So you can just use that to kind of sprinkle on top. And then the couscous should also be ready in about 1 minute. So while I'm opening this, I can find my scissors. So this can add that dressing on. And then the couscous will be done. So again, whatever you put in dry, it usually will double in size. So I have about a cup cooked of couscous in here, if you can see it. And then it's gonna be really fun to like fluff it with a fork a little bit, so it has a little more of like an airy texture, so you can just fluff it up. And then I just add a little bit onto my dish. And then I like to mix it all up. I've also seen grain bowls where they're all kind of, you know, the ingredients are all different on the side, but I like to mix it up. So there you have it. Again, as I mentioned, you can always add in that feta cheese. You could always put some hummus in there, some olives, but quick, easy, 5 minutes, and you have a really great Mediterranean grain bowl. Awesome.
Awesome.
Erin, so there was a question about how to make the garbanzo beans crunchy from Martha.
Yes, so I will usually roast them to make them crunchy. So you'll take them out of the can, pat them down with a paper towel just to remove any excess moisture. And then I'll add some olive oil. You can add some spices, so salt, pepper. I've done like paprika in there too, just to like give it a little bit of a kick. And then you'll just roast them in the oven for, I believe, like 15, 20 minutes. And then you'll have it, so they're roasted, so they're kind of taste a little bit crunchier. I feel like in the store you can buy like crunchy chickpeas, but again, this is just a way to make your own and have a little more influence of what the other ingredients and things are.
Just a little plug. So Crave is our new restaurant in 6th. And they have a lot of roasted chickpeas, just different We've had it at our salad bars too, or garden bars at 64 and Pines as well. But yeah, that's been a really wonderful ad. I love roasted.
Tip. That's a great tip. And
Definitely helps to like change the texture, makes it more.
Yeah.
So play around with it.
that would be a great snack.
And they're really cheap too. You know, beans are definitely, again, a cheaper like protein option, and you can use different spices and seasonings. So it's a really great way to get all those benefits and follow a grocery budget.
Totally. Looks so yummy.
I know. I want everyone's food right now.
Yeah.
Mine is gone, but mine was still with
Yeah.
Any other questions? So today we have gotten all 3, and there's more RDs on this UCSD campus, which is amazing. There's a total of 5 of us. But for National Nutrition Month today, we pulled together 3 of us to give you 3 quick vegetarian meals with 3 ingredients or more. And any questions? Sorry, I can't read from here, but are there any other questions on the chat?
No, I think we covered all of them.
Wonderful.
So,
all right. Well, that is our time. And Zara, who was behind the scenes, did you attach the recipes? Okay, so you should all be able to access the 3 recipes. So again, today we made a TikTok breakfast sandwich wrap. We made a tofu stir fry, and then we just finished up with a chickpea salad. And so give those recipes a try. And we thank you so much for joining us today. One more time to Erin and Miriam, thank you for joining me. Happy RD Day to you. Thank you for all you do to make us healthy and well. And enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks for having us again, and thank you all for tuning in.
yes, thank you everyone, and happy RD Day.
Yay.
To my friends.
And then there was 4.
Yeah.
When